you doing? Struggle bus.
It just the picture won't move. Hold on. The picture the picture won't remove. Hold on. There we go. Hell of a week here at No Chaser TV. My name is Chase. This is Tori B. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're here with the Love and Marriage Huntsville review. What a week here at No Chaser TV. I'm pushing through. I'm actually in the middle of a move, so as you see me this week, you'll be seeing things come down from the set. And we're moving to a new location, and you guys will see and hear all about that soon. In the meantime, again, make sure that you guys like the video. You guys are watching these videos. We thank you for it. You're commenting. You guys are showing up and showing out for us on all of the platforms that we're streaming on currently. But we also need you guys to go ahead and like the video if you like it. Subscribe as you guys have been doing. We're now at 600 subscribers in a little over 3 months, so that's really huge, and we're really appreciative of it. We're going to get right into our Love and Marriage Huntsville review, and Tori B, we're going to swing right on out of here, eh?
Amen.
All right, let's get into it. Because Tish, whatever her name is still tipsy, and Stormy and her are still arguing. Nella's had about enough, and she's over it. She says, "You don't accept damn invitation, and you don't bring her ass over. You don't invite her to nothing else, and let's be done with it." By the way, I wanted to say that my look today is actually inspired by Tish because um, Mel references later on in the episode a sit down they did, and Tisha had on this really cute denim top with her like dangly, earrings. And I was like, you know what, I can give her a little dangly earring and a little cute little denim top. So let me go ahead and throw that on too. And it's been a while since I dressed up for you guys and gave you cleave. Give them cleave, Chase. Give them. You want some more cleave? Give them some more.
That's the first thing I saw when I got on. I can't with you. I was
Give
like,
them
okay,
cleave.
Chase.
So it's been a while since I've given you a little something. I've been slumping and bumping, tried in the middle of a move. We've been going live almost every day this week, this past 2 weeks, around the clock with the Kingdom War News, from the hair care event up until her eventual suspension. Check out those videos. And now we're back with another Love and Marriage Huntsville review. And I must admit, before we go ahead and finish with this, I've really enjoyed reviewing this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I really have. All the dialogue has been perfect. The shade has been even better. And watching you guys sit back and argue has been thrilling for me. With that being said, let's continue. But I will give Tish this because I ain't gonna give her nothing else this episode. But the blues, I did, she did inspire me because that was a really cute looking. Her hair was like pulled back behind her ear. She looked really cute. Anyway, I agree with Nell. Everybody shut the hell up and move on. Tish says that she RSVP'd, and when she found that out, Nell was like, well, what are we even doing here? Which is a lot of the times what Tish invokes is a sense of rage, like, well, then what do we even, So she has that reaction during it. They then get into another drunk argument, that being Tish and Nell, about keeping it real. Nell says that Tish was acting aggressive and crazy. Tish doesn't like that she called her crazy. She didn't mind aggressive. She didn't like crazy. And so Nell walks that back and apologizes for calling her crazy. And Tish isn't being fake and phony. Tish says that, well, let me see. I think I may be. Okay, yes. So let me just break down the whole thing because it was a lot of moving parts. So that's the beginning of that, right? Um, then we go over to Sunny and, excuse me, not Sunny, but Stormy and Courtney, who are talking to Marsau. And she says that she doesn't know, or didn't know that Tish had an issue with her until, this is your fault now. She didn't know that Tisha had a fault with her until, issue with her until they got to the reunion and it was all guns blazing. Marcel says, well, hell, neither did I until we got to the reunion, but that's my wife. I'm going to stand beside her. Marceau says that they had many tense moments, so to receive an invite to their event was just off-putting. Uh, what the girl name is? I kept writing Sunny. I'm sorry. Stormy says, huh?
Go ahead.
I'm ready to read her next week. I'm sorry. Courtney says that Marceau has to take up for his wife and do the right thing. However, Stormy, is adamant that it was an olive branch in an effort to move forward because she didn't really feel like it was that deep. And she really wanted Marsau and Stormy there. They're mad at an olive branch, which is really confusing Stormy. And Marsau tells Stormy that he likes the blonde on her and then looks her up and down. And Courtney says to keep his eyes on his own woman.
Mm-hmm.
Letitia then back over what Tisha Nell says that she doesn't like that Nell, when pressed about the nature of their friendship and relationship, said that she was her mentor. And so she was upset at her claiming her to be that mentor when it is not true. They are friends because they hang out a lot off camera. Nell wonders why Tisha waited so long for her to say that to her when, if they're such great friends, she could either come to her house and knock down the door like Mel does, or she can give her a call. And Tisha said she felt it was best to go ahead and save it for the story and going to bring it to her on camera as opposed to talking to her real friend about it off camera. That's what she said. And then she says next time she will pick up the phone and contact her. So that was the rest of Nell's birthday party, and then Nell was celebrating and dropped it like it was lukewarm. I was hoping somebody would help her back up.
That
She
was
went a little
funny though.
slow. It was funny. I like Nell. Be turned up. Me in the club turned up with Nell. Hey.
Oh yeah, she was getting it and hopped on her husband.
Now that was, and she was grinding too. I said, I know that's right. And guess what? He ain't budge. He held strong. A strong man. I mean, you know what I mean? So, what did you think about the rest of Nell's birthday scene? We're gonna start from the beginning, with it being Stormy and Sunny, and then Nell interjecting.
Teacher, stop calling. We don't even call that lady Sunny.
I don't know why, Sunny. I don't know what that's about. I really want to
You
read
ready for
her.
her to get cussed out by Destiny?
Oh, baby, I think we might even go live next week on that one because I'm ready to get it.
Yeah. So I really like this scene, and I'm gonna say, because this is like our first real group scene. It's 7 episodes in. I mean six.
Is it 6 or 7? I don't even know at this point.
Last week it started last week, so 6. And so what I'm gonna say is Stormy is doing a great job of doing better. Cause Stormy got up.
She was clapping last week.
She got up. She pulled herself back. She reeled it in. She said, "You know what? I'm gonna get up from here, and I'm gonna remove myself." And that's what she did. And she got up out of this. The old Stormy would have like, "So what's up then?" You know what I mean? What
Season
up, though?
5 for me.
Yeah. So I Stormy, you did a great job with that. I am so surprised. I was ready for you to clock her. A lot of people, the people on the Twitter said they was ready for you to clock Tisha. All right. But I'm happy that happened. Nell and Tisha, Nell tends to do this. She like, I didn't have, once they start fussing at each other, Nell be like, all right, now I can't do this fussing. It's that's how she is. And I like that. Because they got to resolve. What I will say is Tisha has to learn to regulate her emotions. And it might have to be, she's always very defensive. Every interaction or conversation does not have to be so damn aggressive and combative. It does not have to be, girl. Please go seek therapy. I'm tired of it. I'm serious, because something is wrong with her. And if you're going to have friends, you have to be able to have a conversation or call them up when you have an issue. It's the same thing. It was a couple years ago, it was an issue with Kimmy. And it really wasn't an issue. It was Tisha making it an issue. So for me, her going back and forth with Nell over something so minute, over somebody saying, oh, Nell said that she's y'all mentor, is not something for you to get all aggressive. And it was wrong time, wrong place, which is why everybody is saying that you only had the balls to do it because you had some liquor in your system.
Well,
she do it when she not lick it up.
Okay,
but
I was like, well,
but it just was it when the
but
thing
it was
was
more aggressive. It was aggressive. I don't tend to. So the word aggressive in relation to a black woman has been discussed ad nauseum, especially on Bravo,
Right.
where they're in predominantly white spaces being called aggressive by white women when they are not being aggressive, right? Or
I agree.
angry or upset in those words. They're absolutely right. The word aggressive totally fits in the context of this scenario because not only did we get Tipsy Tisha, she was aggressive because she was tipsy, and she was just like all over the place, sloppy, stuttering, stutter stepping, and she was filled with emotion and no way to properly express how she feels. And I think that with Tisha, you can see like the smokestacks coming out of her like a train, like the
Mhm.
smoke billowing out of her because she's so angry. But she does not have the tracks in order to get it on the train track and get to her destination. She does not have the language to appropriately express, not express. You see what I did there, right? To express how she feels in the moment, out of the moment, and I think that she's not good with thinking on her feet. She knew that she was coming to that event to get some things off of her chest, and when it was time, she wasn't able to do so. And some people just have communication issues, Tricia.
Yeah, but don't communicate. Don't
Well, no,
go
I'm not
there.
taking up for her, but I think
Yeah,
that is why we get what we get. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. Don't go there with a conflict on your mind and then drink some liquor and think you're going to be able to talk through what the issue is. I'd rather you wait. First of all, I don't think that was the right time or place.
Oh,
If
it
you're
was absolutely, and that's her.
in the
That's
club,
this show. This show has a horrible case of wrong place, wrong time.
yeah, I agree.
Horrible case.
Yeah.
Because why would Destiny tell me at my event that I'm not her village? I was at work like this, like, yes, hold on, man. Get off of my TV. I'm gonna start bringing. I'm gonna clip that clip and put it on there. I like a young lady
Seriously, that
named
was
Nikki who reviews shows. She did this one thing about Rachel Fruta in New Jersey. She was like, "Get off of my TV," and she was so disgusted. I gotta add that in. Yes, go
yeah.
ahead.
But no, I just Tisha, you 40 plus. We gotta use get some tools, baby.
Well, why y'all was mad at me when I was starting my binge and I was like, Tisha get on my nerves for real, real bad.
That was Jasmine. I was not mad.
Oh,
Cause she did sure get on my goddamn.
okay, because I was like,
Nah,
she is annoying.
she is very and granted, I do not like Marsau, but I think Marsau is so fed up with her
It's bad.
that he don't even care how it come out and that he's doing it on television.
It's bad. We're gonna get into that in just a little bit. Now, speaking of Marceau, they had a conversation with Stormy. I was gonna say Sunny again.
Yeah.
Stormy and Courtney with Marceau, and Marceau was actually taking up for Tisha in that moment, and Courtney was just like, you know, you're wrong, um, but I see what you're doing. You're taking up for your wife as you should. Was he wrong, or was he actually 100% 10 toes down behind Tisha, or did he feel like this is you're absolutely right? It's completely stupid and whatever. But that's my wife.
That is what a husband is supposed to do. And that's for the first time we see him.
I've never seen him do that before. I don't think.
Right. This is the first time we see him actually take up for Tisha with other folks and not really call her out. What you are supposed to do is take up for her, but not, and then hold her accountable behind the scenes. We see later in the episode, he still calls her out on television, which brings me to the point, and we spoke about it last week as well. I love me some Courtney, and honestly, honestly, I need me a Courtney, but honestly, and you haven't. I don't think you got to that point because
I'm on season 7 now, so
oh, I'm not sure if you got to the point where Courtney, where Marceau is taking digs at Courtney and Stormy.
well, no. Marceau has been saying things. Marceau is really bad season 7 so far. I just gotta be. This is the worst I've ever seen him. He's like off the chains ever since. By the way, I watched all of season 6, so I did see them jump Tiffany like that. Tiffany is tacky. She is all those things, but I gotta say that was disgusting to watch Martell and Marsau do Tiffany that way. That was disgusting.
Yeah,
I
it
did not
was.
like it at all. And I feel that men and women should be able to have men and women, theys and thems, however everyone under God's earth should be able to have dialogue. I'm never going to be there okay with a gang up, whether it be two women and a man, two men and a woman. Theys and them. It's just I'm never going to be okay with a gang up. But that one, she didn't come there thinking that that was going to happen. So not only was it a gang up, it was an ambush, and I never be okay with that. And I'm glad that Lou tried to stand up for her. And Lou, Marcel ain't want none of Lou, and neither did Martha. They ain't want none of that. In my opinion, they was perfectly fine having dialogue, but they really didn't want to go toe to toe in that ring with that man. And I understand because he like one. If he hit you once, it's a wrap, right? I thought it was gross that they did that, and honestly, Marcel has been off the chain since that event. Since that happened, he has just been a runaway train. Nobody's been stopping it. And so where I'm at now actually is Marcel and Courtney are about to have their one-on-one sit down.
So he Marceau
Don't
really
spoil it for me.
no. I'm not.
Okay, I was just because I don't like to be
I'm
spoiled.
not.
I was saying, don't
But
spoil
I'm just saying he really undermines just the way he undermines Mel. He undermines Courtney, and they do
it. Okay.
similarly in that fashion. And so one thing Courtney is going to do is stand up for his wife. And if you know whatever you said to his wife, he gonna get in your face and own it. And even in that moment in the club, he like, all right, you standing up for your wife. And then he like, oh, but you look good in that blind. And Courtney says, yeah, look at your own wife. I ain't playing with you. Play with somebody else. And I
Absolutely. Yeah.
love that.
Weird flex.
A re-
Why would he do that? He being Marcel.
I know. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Tisha's very weird in that way that she could see everybody else's flaws, but she can't see Marceau's flaws.
I need that to be addressed at the reunion. I do.
Because like you want
That's
to talk
weird.
about Mar years ago, right? Martell cheating and she was one of the people that brought up the BMW, but yet you don't like when people I mean, he's doing it openly. He was looking at somebody else. I forgot who else he was he looking at Mel? Yeah, definitely was.
Always looking at
And
Mel.
then this is the reason why Tisha, I told y'all Tisha's very insecure.
Well,
And she has a reason to be.
I would say
He's
she has. Nobody should be insecure, of course, but he definitely doesn't give her the opportunity to not be like he keeps on her peas and on her toes, baby.
yep. And
Keeps
this
her
is
dead
what
on
I'm
her toes.
yep.
Um. So in relation to the rest of that party where Tish and Nell says I was hurt and offended that you called me your mentee as opposed to saying you're my friend and you did it because of the fans and social media and you didn't want to be attacked and you didn't feel like my friendship was worth claiming. I I can understand that. I just wish that she would have verbalized that. Maybe had to sit down with her before the party or said what it was instead of just being, passive aggressive the whole party. Because hell, even not even passive aggressive the whole party because that's why she got ate up by now. Talk about she want to like Tricia. Well, you better get busy then.
I love the part where Nell was like, "Oh, so you standing on business, huh?"
So you calling her a punk?
She said, "So you standing on business." My point is this: you got all this to say about Nell and how old Nell is, and da 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 da. But I mean, um, y'all was all drinking. Nell was perfectly good on that liquor she was on. She was standing on business and gathered you, child.
Go now. I'm in the park. Go now. Go now.
Right? I would have been like, I would have what? Now has her moments, but this was a fun one. This is a fun one. And even after the whole argument, she still hopped on her husband and had some fun and still was throwing back shots. So kudos to Nell. She gave us a time. I'll tell you that. And I see Melody scooted her ass up out of this. She said, I'm out too. I ain't
Yeah,
dealing
I
with
gotta
this.
go anyway. I gotta go. Put our shades on and hit it. Uh, so Chris, Courtney, and Martell link up, and Chris wonders where Martell was, and that's a little weird. Okay, he was asking about Martell. Nell didn't invite Martell because of Mel, and Nell asked Nell, excuse me, Chris did admit that Nell did ask him about it after Martell asked that they discuss it, and he said, "Whatever my wife wants to do, I support her wholeheartedly." Martell feels that they aren't being his true friend and are being fake. And once Mel does the Mel thing that he says that she does with her friends, don't come running back to him after she turns on them. I thought it was weird that he would ask where he was if he knew he wasn't gonna be there. I was under the impression that Nell did it and Chris didn't know, but Chris knew, so why would he ask that?
For TV purposes.
It just didn't make any sense. Purposes.
I don't get it either. But
Okay, and this was it me. I was like, but you just said, why are you asking him like you don't know why he's not there? He's not there because Nell decided to invite Mel. That was her decision. You knew that. She discussed it with you, and you
maybe
supported
because
it.
Courtney was there. I have no idea. But yeah,
No, I mean, I wouldn't even have asked where he was. I would have, we would have just talked about why he wasn't there. And obviously, you weren't there because Nell told you you weren't going to be there.
he was
So, what did
busy
I think
humping.
about it? I supported my wife in her decision.
He was busy humping on coleslaw. Okay, let's let's move on. I don't even care. You could scrap Martell at this point. I don't.
Because she don't know that, allegedly. Maybe he was. Who knows? He was humping on something, most likely. He was doing something. He wasn't there. That's all we know. Do you think that Mel always turns on people and they're going to be next?
No. Um. Here's the thing. I feel, and again, I'm not a Mel fan. I do like Mel, but I'm not a Mel fan. I'm not a millimeter. What I feel like is Mel was going through a lot. She has 4 kids. She, in the midst of this divorce with Martell, he was putting her through a lot, right? She has 4 kids. This man is driving her crazy, fighting her for custody. And y'all still expect her to be a great friend, a great mother, a businesswoman. And not to mention, throughout the divorce, she decided to get rid of all of their businesses. Remember that.
Right.
So, what I'm saying is, we really don't know her mental state when all of this was going on. I feel like, and she said this a lot, like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to, I don't. And so I think she just distanced herself. And when things got tough, she just left people alone and just didn't want to be bothered, and really just whoever supported her, whoever was her tribe, that's who she was dealing with at the time after filming. And that's it.
Sydney Foster.
I feel like that's what she did. And you could feel some type of way
I don't
about
want
it.
to see Shanita on the show. I'm sorry. I just got to be honest.
You
She
said
did nothing to me, but I don't want to see her on the show.
that's the one that was at her little pajama party, right? Yeah.
Shanita Foster was also on like season 6 or 7 as well as I'm watching it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's her dog. That's her dog. So, whatever, dog. I just don't want to see it. I don't know.
She
Shanita ain't
also
getting it.
she also said at the reunion, "I don't want to be in Huntsville." She's in Atlanta often. I just feel like
Just give
nobody.
her a spinoff.
Yeah, I feel like she just was going through a lot, and she might have just didn't give a damn about these relationships. Even the one with STORMI, like, I don't need no more stress. Your mama's driving me crazy. Miss Wanda talking about my kids crazy, and she just said the hell with everybody.
In
And
a
you know,
in
that's
a
how.
perfect. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's how I feel about the situation.
In a perfect world, I think that what would work if the show is strong enough is, and it's interesting because honestly, right? Even when people talked about Mariah on Married to Medicine, right? Those figures, Mariah and Mel, figures like that, people who created the show, and executive produce a show, and then they're not friends with the cast. People say, "Well, you should leave." No, technically, I created this motherfucker. They should leave. That's how I be feeling. Yeah, that's how I honestly be feeling. However, I do feel that Huntsville, especially like season 6 and 7, seemed like it gravitated around Tisha. It really did seem like it gravitated around Tisha, and I think that There's an interesting thing. So let's go ahead and break this down really quickly, right? As we're getting into it. I don't know. I noticed a pattern. So since I've been recapping these shows this
Mhm.
season, there's a pattern on a couple of episodes. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was saying how Mel's Q, aka quarterly rating, must be super high because they slapped her scene in the middle of the episode and it was so long.
Mhm.
It seems like the editing formula and strategy to me of the show is continuation at the top of the hour, continuation from last week's fight, right? So that means that we draw you in.
Mhm.
Then, the middle of the scene, you have Mel in order to keep the ratings strong so they don't dip off in the middle of the show because there are ratings for every second, every segment, every person who's on screen, how much screen time they get. They're rating according, they're shared rating according to all this. There's analytics for everything.
Mhm.
So it looks like fight at the beginning, Mel scene at the end, I mean in the middle,
Mhm.
they keep the show strong and the rating in the middle because Mel does have a huge fan base. And then at the end, a new fight or a new situation or a new conflict.
I get
Let-
that. I see what you're saying.
Lather, rinse, repeat, right?
Mhm.
And that is the formula, right? Because even on this episode, Mel has a scene in the middle of the episode with Stormy in the middle of the episode. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think it's that in a perfect world, there may have been, especially when Mel was like very like, I'm in Atlanta. I don't like these people. I don't want anything to do with them. Excuse me.
Where's your water?
Right here, girl. I'm getting it. Ugh. I'm sorry, child. Sorry, y'all. I've been talking for like, oh my gosh, as much as I've been talking the last 3 weeks. Okay. Um, in a perfect world, when she was doing her Atlanta thing real heavy, she was starting her music career. There would have either been a spinoff, which is like it being about Mel in Atlanta, or since she's so close with Shanita and some of the Atlanta girls, maybe a Love and Marriage Atlanta. And I know people were really, there was a lot of strong buzz about it possibly being a Love and Marriage Atlanta. Then Nene came on Carlos' show. Mariah came on Carlos' show. Their friends, and they were meeting up a lot at the time. A lot of
Mhm.
people were thinking, "Oh my God, this is going to be Love and Marriage Atlanta." That would have been the perfect segue, and then you focus Huntsville on Tisha because, in my opinion, although Tisha is super annoying. She had enough gravitational pull where so much orbited around her, so much conflict, so much family, so much, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That we could have recentered it on her. And I think the show would have done well. Would it have been as strong as Melody? I don't know. You know what I mean? But it would have done well, in my opinion, because there was Tisha versus Kiki, Tisha versus Stormy, and all of that stuff going on. Tisha and Kimmy's relationship, that dynamic. You get what I mean? Like, it was just a lot of dynamics. Then you would have had Destiny and Sunday this season. It just would have been a lot of dynamics that I think Atlanta, Huntsville would have been okay without Mel. And then Mel is transitioned to where she's happy. Martell is doing his thing. And of course, Martell most likely would have introduced a new love interest on that show as well. I think it would have been where everybody is happy and everybody wins in that situation. For whatever the reason, it did not happen. And I don't know if I want to say it's too late for it to happen,
I get what
but
you.
but
Yeah.
that would have been the perfect opportunity for it to happen around seasons 5, 6, and 7 for that to be done, right? Because it has not happened, now I kind of feel like Melody has to stay.
She does, and she has to stay.
But then that must mean Martell has to go.
She has to
Is that what that
stay.
means?
She has to stay because Martell will not let her take them kids out of state.
Well, I'm talking about as far, but she's
No, I
still out
know.
of state anyway, though.
She said she can't go nowhere because of this man.
She can't permanently move, but she has an Atlanta residence, correct?
I don't know if she has an Atlanta
She
residence.
did. I'm rewatching the show. She did have an Atlanta
I
residence.
don't. I can't confirm or deny. I know her brother is there, so her brother will
She can
stay.
go film 3 months. Well, they film a lot. She can go film 3 to 4 months out of the year.
I know. So
Yeah.
here's the other thing to further support that. The ratings have been up and down.
Well, the ratings have been super. Well, the last
Up
week's episode
exactly because Mel was on that
was
episode.
a series high. And again, like I said, what was she?
That's why I'm
What
saying
was her scene last week?
it was it was the club scene. It was what
Yes.
else? It's damn, I can't remember.
Let me go look really quickly and see if she had another scene
But the
last week.
other this remember I said specifically that
Oh, I
this
think Nell and Martell, Nell and Melody had a scene. Did Nell and Melody have a scene last week? Nell and Melody had a scene last week
yeah.
in the middle of the episode. So,
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying is
but I
when
thought Melodies were boycotting.
that's what Marsau said. And I'm gonna say this: those episodes centered around Tricia what didn't do good. Those were the dips.
There's a lot of Trisha last week though.
Yeah, but we got more Mel.
I think people wanted to see the group scene. That's what I really
Yeah,
think.
I feel that too. So
Everybody was in the same room for once to see get this
yeah,
scene.
so I'm gonna say this: it's best to just keep Mel on the television
I mean,
screen.
that was their highest rated episode ever, right?
Hmm.
Wow, 7 seasons in, so it means they got a lot of mileage to go. But
I think it
um,
was like almost two. It was 2 million, almost three, or something like that.
what is that? Live plus seven, or was it that night?
I don't know.
Or,
I didn't
I
see
need
that
to. I'm gonna
part.
figure it out. I want to know if it was live plus seven. What was the live rating? Is
I'll
what I
have
want to
to
know. I
look.
think they had, but it was a good rating. It was really good. So congratulations to Huntsville. Even though I thought that the episode was filler. I mean, all those people tuned in to see Mel Reed, Keisha like that. Oh,
We
that show
needed a
was
group
tickled.
scene. We've been needed a group
We need
scene.
a group scene. We're gonna need more
The
of them.
fact that we waited 6 episodes to get one is kind of crazy because we're
Yeah.
used to seeing them in a group. So
Give them group. Anyway, Tisha doesn't want to work on a project with Kimmy because she doesn't want to go backwards, as they were in a bad place. They were in a really bad place. Basically, Kimmy told her if we weren't family, we wouldn't be friends, baby. She definitely hit up with the Tony Braxton. Mel was invited to speak at the Expo, and the contract was secured, but Mel was not able to because her schedule was jam packed with events and she was busy, so she couldn't do it.
mhm.
Marcel says it had nothing to do about the comment he made about Martell's arrest because he was in the middle of the road and it wasn't offensive to either party. He was just trying to make sure that they knew which ball head hoe they had. Marcel says anyone who comes against the Scots has fallen, that being Mel and Martell, Lewis and Tiffany, Stormy and excuse me, Lewis and Tiffany, Kiki and Amin, and now Tisha adds Stormy and Courtney. I don't know if they've fallen, but I don't know if they've fallen, but I do know that Stormy just had the highest selling day on TikTok Live ever as a black woman. So congratulations to you, Stormy, for not falling. Uh, Tisha says she's not taking it anymore. She's not taking any stuff. And Marcel says, listen, Tisha, you could work on your accountability piece. And then Tisha says that she doesn't want to talk about it. And then 5 seconds later, she says, you know what? Let's talk about it, especially on camera. So she then decides that she wants to talk about it, and Marceau doubles down on what he says about her lack of accountability. Tisha says that he does not have to call her out on every issue or mistake that she makes in front of people, most especially on camera. And Marceau asks her if she really thinks that those are the only mistakes that she makes. Yeesh. Wow. Marceau says, he doesn't always remind her of everything or point out everything. And Tisha says that she's listened to what he said and she gathers that um, he's just going to continue to do what he wants or not open up to her going forward in the future. And Marceau says, you're absolutely right. I won't communicate my issues with you on you and your lack of accountability. I'll just I'll sweep them under the rug and save them for a therapist. And then he leaves the home.
He's a whole lie because he didn't want to go to therapy, and then ran off to Africa.
That's what he was at the end of that scene.
No, I'm sorry. He went to Africa by himself and didn't want to take his kids or his wife with him. Okay, so
I'm an advocate for marriage. I'm an advocate for people being happy, but
I listen. I really want to see Marceau and Maurice's parents. I would like to see them
these are
because
some horrible ass men.
And I think all they have is boys. Because there's another son, Micah, whatever. Um, I'm gonna just say this. This is so cringe. It's cringe because Marsau does never takes accountability. Never. Never. You were wrong last year when you did what you did to STORMI. And then you got mad because she called you a bitch. She had every reason to call you a bitch. She participated in the expo. You never said you never said that there was a fee. And then the day of when she's setting up, you say there's a fee. And she's like, so why you ain't been say something? I don't do business this way. You
I
never
think
apologize.
I agree with her, but I think she went a little hard. Like she
She
drugged it a little bit.
did,
She
but
drugged it a little bit. But
she
I agree they did bad business.
she did, but at the same time, when you a business owner and you got a lot of things, she was in the midst of
No,
building
I
everything.
understand they
So
were
she was
wrong.
over it
I just thought it could have been resolved
a little
right
bit
then. You
better.
ain't getting no money, and let's move on.
Right.
I didn't think it had to
So
be dragged as bad as it got dragged.
yeah. So my thing is, Tisha, I don't know, child, what you gonna do? Cause this right here, you're not accountable. He's not accountable. He's not gonna go to therapy. I don't know if you're ever gonna go back to therapy. Sweeping things under the rug is never good for anybody. It just builds resentment, and both of y'all are wrong. And the piece about everybody who talks about y'all fails, or are you serious? You cannot be that narcissistic and thinking everybody who holds your feet to the fire, because I like it's supposed to fail. Because I can't listen. I I can't with these two.
Let me
These
just
two are the most annoying people. Some
well,
some of most some of the most annoying people on reality TV. These two, I I don't know why they think their relationship is so great, or why. I don't know what
I don't think
Marcel.
they think it's that great. Here's what you know what I think. Honestly, toward me, when they say when Tisha says that everyone who has come against them has failed and all of those things in regards to the relationship or whatever it is they're failing at, I think that what Tisha does not recognize is that while she's saying that about others' relationship, she thinks she looks at other people as the enemy because they may be attempting to hold her accountable or they're coming for her as she's coming for them and they're in the midst of war or battle or whatever it is. But what Tisha fails to realize is the downfall of her relationship is in her own damn house. The call is coming from inside the house, and you are sleeping with the enemy. That man, at this point, takes a perverse pleasure in humiliating you and humbling you and embarrassing you and correcting you. And no matter how high you go, thumbing your nose in it to make sure that he's up here and you're down
Down
here. He is the demise of your relationship. That is in your household. And I know that we only see but so much, but we can't see it if you don't give it to us. Their relationship may be great 90% of the time. This 10% that we're getting is enough to make me absolve the whole 90. I would never. You can never. Let me tell you something. I don't even think that what she was asking him was wrong. It's like, damn, you know, correct me, but you ain't got to correct me on camera. You always got to correct me in front of the fucking eyes. Correct me. I'm not asking for not to not be corrected, but don't correct me in front of you. Have my back. You be my husband. You go to war about me. Because if you can't, then you need to unenlist.
Well,
Okay?
he needs to learn from Courtney. But I'm gonna say this: I don't like the narcissist word, but him and his brother are definitely narcissists. And I'm gonna say the other part: he has a God or and a savior complex. And I say this because a couple seasons ago, he said Tisha's from the other side of the track. So what did you do? Go and save the girl from the other side of the track?
But ain't he from the other side of the tracks too, allegedly?
He said it. I have no idea where Marsau is from. I just know that this is really unfortunate and sad to watch. And I pray Marsau needs to really humble himself, and so does Maurice, because both of them, child, they are
All
not
right.
a, they are not the prize. I would never marry a man like that. That is disgusting. He is not supportive. He was never supportive of her. Never
Okay.
has been.
Okay.
Wanted her to
Calm down.
stay home.
Calm down. We got to move on.
Go ahead.
Calm down. Calm down.
I'm
We're going to
just
move on. All right. You good?
the nerve.
Okay. No, she ain't good. We're going to move on, y'all. Oh, boy. Torby, don't let that man get you worked up. Uh, Stormy and Mel meet in the middle of the episode. That was a really strong middle section of the episode, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Really strong. Stormy and Mel meet and talk about Sonny being at the podcast. And Stormy says, you can't help who you love, but at the same time, the way they went about telling Destiny how they love was, for a better term, very crass and just, not based in love. And so there leads to believe that she feels that Sonny always wanted that man. And that's a very good observation because the way you enter into a union, it just shows if you really cared about me, you couldn't help but you was falling in love with my man. The least you can do is tell me nicely. Damn, you ain't gotta be calling me all kind of bitches and side chicks. If I was a side chick and you was hollering at my man, what were you? Conehead. Anyway, I don't like her. Stormy says that Tisha, but Belle says, you and Tisha was getting into it. She said, no, but Tisha was into it with herself. And I think that that's what we're watching this season. Tisha's at battle at war with herself because I think it's starting to dawn on her. Wait a minute, this ain't what I signed up for. Catch that dirt. But is she gonna leave him?
Hell no.
Nope.
I
All
told y'all
right.
that.
Especially with Miss Nell. She was at war with Miss Nell because she was taking jabs and was super hyper on those shots. Stormy maintains that she extended an olive branch to the Scots, and if they do not want to come, she will not lose any sleep. Stormy adds that she notices Martell was not at Nell's event. And she does tell Mel heads up that Martell is going to be a model. And Mel says, well, that'll do it. You ain't got to worry about me. You don't have to worry about me because I will no longer be coming. And Stormy kind of was a little disappointed because I'm sure she figured that if it's a gala and I'm charging, the only person got some money allegedly is Mel. So damn.
Mel support people. One thing about Mel gonna support.
Absolutely. Where are we? See, this is the thing with the show. Now it's starting to affect the show. Their divorce and their issues are starting to affect it to where like we can't get people at group scenes and stuff like that. And this is not where like they'll reconcile. Charges have been filed, pressed, and people have been sent to jail. So I don't think there's no right now logical coming back from that. So what do we do about this? However, let me see. Excuse me. Is anything that needs to be talked about? Well, what did you think about Stormy's reaction to Mel not coming? She was just like, okay.
Um, I agree with you that there's no coming back. But we also gotta understand, and I wish they would also stop. It's a complicated situation. Your ex husband was plotting to put out revenge porn. I mean, I wouldn't want to see him either. I'm pretty sure there is a relative or somebody who drops those kids off to him, and she don't want to see him, and they probably don't even communicate via phone. Everything is probably via email. So yes, it has affected their personal lives and this, but we gotta not want to put somebody in a space where they feel like they're going to be tormented. He tormented her when they went to Texas with that group trip.
I think everybody is on one accord that they're not going to be on the same room. It's just not enjoyable to watch. I don't want to see them in the same room, but I don't want it to keep being like this situation
He can't
around it.
control himself though.
I'm over. I'm over. I'm over the discussion of it. I'm over the tenseness and the anger surrounding it, and I'm to the point as a viewer. For me, somebody got to go.
I don't disagree with that. Um,
It's not fair,
it's not.
but
But then
somebody got to
again,
go.
I could do
But
without Martell.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not fair on the outset, but being honest about it, you made that decision when you know threatened to put out Revenge P. You said Revenge P, right?
Sorry, I forgot. Revenge P.
Oh boy. Revenge P. So you kind of made your decision then. You must have want to be on the show then with someone. This is probably their only source of well, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but one of their main sources of verifiable income. I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that, no matter how mad she made me. Tricia and Martell are working out, and Tricia reintroduces herself to Martell since he acted like he didn't know her. She also reveals that she knows the Scotts and has known them for years as her current husband, who she is not divorced from, and Marceau used to work together. Martell says that Marceau would have took her down if she was working up there too, and it's just like he is so immature and childish and just ridiculous. And she was like hell he would have, child, cheese. So I do notice that it makes sense to why Trisha was cast because she has a lot of organic, natural connections to this cast. She just is not fit for TV so far. It's not, and it may take time. She may get it after 2 or 3 seasons. Do I want to see her watch it and figure it out for 2 or 3 seasons?
No,
Sorry, Trisha, nothing to do with you, Trish. Um, So Martell says that Marcel would have took her down. She denies it. Chris, then she admits that her cousin Chris almost introduced her to Martell.
I don't get none of this.
Oh, I get it. He was finna put her on Martell.
Oh, to date.
And boom, there goes dynamite. Remember I said all of us, everybody who's watched this was like, some in the butter became clean. There it is. And I feel like that if that was what they were willing to give us, it's got to be more to it. Trisha tells Martell that Mel was grilling her, and Martell said, well, shit, she should have grilled Mel back. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of agree. You asking me all these questions. Let me ask you some questions, boo. I don't feel like she was getting grilled, though, but whatever. People who are private, if you ask them anything about their relationship, they feel like you're grilling them. So
Right.
I don't think that Mel was grilling her, in my opinion. That's just me. Uh, Martell cracks up learning that Trisha is married with a man named Ken on her side as a side piece. She clears up that they uh, know each other and that they agree moving forward that they will act as such. Um, it's very clear that Martell and everybody in Huntsville is scared of Trisha. You got anything? You want to skip? Can we skip it, or you got to say you want something you want to say about it?
I just think it's disgusting that he keeps calling everybody side chick, side piece, and side. Martell, grow up. You the one with the side piece that you got.
Misery just want a little company, baby. That's all that is. Misery. That's Martell name for the rest of the night. Misery just want a little company. That's all, baby. So Mel and Marceau meet up, and Mel hates that she couldn't make it to the Expo this year, which was not filmed.
Thank you. I was so happy they didn't. Thank you, Lord
Why
Jesus.
we couldn't film? Why?
Because they dragged that expo thing out so and I'm gonna be honest with you, I got so tired of the way Tisha kept it, the way she pronounces expo.
I feel like that was what the season's been missing.
Now
The Expo, the Expo.
I'm glad they didn't film it.
And then she'll say the Expo. So she'll still add on. She'll still do it. Oh, Tisha, she told y'all she had speech problems at the beginning of the series. She was going to speech therapy for, so get your money back.
Event,
At
expo,
the event.
event.
I love it. I love it. But she is where she's from. It's okay. It's cool. Like, I'm from the South. It don't bother me. So I get it, you know.
I know, but they
Because
was
one of the things that I hate from the South that I say, especially the white people, oh, I'd be so embarrassed. When I'm trying to get through a space, I say, excuse me. I hate it. That's the countryest thing I say. Excuse me.
yeah, I mean, listen,
I hate it.
I just they didn't need to film it. I'm really happy they didn't. She just doesn't take feedback, constructive feedback well. And Mel talks about that. Like and that's part of it. Marceau is right. She is so defensive. When you do things for the public, but doesn't matter how good it is, when you're doing something for the first time, you're supposed to survey people to learn what went well, what didn't go well, and how to do it better next time. And maybe we could have got some snippet of it so we could see how it got better. But I didn't want to see who participated, who
No,
didn't,
I don't even think
none of
they
that
should have
stuff.
followed the planning or the surrounding of it. I think they could have
Right.
just filmed the expo.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's the
As far
only thing I would have wanted. I don't want to see the
yeah, I want to
planning.
see
I
that.
don't want to see none of
I
that
think
other
that's a big
stuff.
thing for the community to have that and that be an event and get the promotion it needs so it can be successful so that businesses can flourish in their neighborhood and in their area. That's what I
But
think.
Tisha dragged the hell out of it because she just did not want nobody telling her how she should have did better or what
And she's
worked.
stubborn.
Yes. And in that sense, Marceau was right about it.
She's very stubborn and very defensive. Um, so Mel says, okay, that's nice. Let's discuss that comment you made to the media. Marcel says that their lives are all intertwined because they're on a television show together, and people see two bald head men with their names starting as MAR, and people thought that Marceau was actually Misery. When he's not Misery, he's Marcel. And so Mel says, I understand that you may have felt the need to go ahead and make sure that it was established that you're not the person who everyone thinks that it is, because sometimes we've seen news outlets put, especially black people, put the wrong black celebrity to Shaka Khan's name or something like that. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
being ignorant. However, um, that wasn't all he did, according to Mel. So he says all he did was give a middle of the road response to let everyone know that he's not Misery. He is Marceau. And so she says, well, let me see the text messages, wherein the text message proves that he did leave an additional comment. Now he says that the news outlet reached out to him. He didn't reach out to them. And he gave the news outlet a comment because they were the news and it was his friend. And the comment was, free Misery.
Now, why he showed her that text message?
Idiot. Um, so then Mel says, hey, there's a lot of stuff I coming and I don't, but since it's free Misery, free Tisha. So it's backwards. And I thought it was highly, highly suspect that Marceau lied, excuse me, 3 to 4 times in those last 2 to 3 minutes, which was insane to me. Because first it was the news outlet reached out to you, you didn't know them, you just went ahead and gave it. Then it ended up being your friend from who was a news anchor that you gave the comment to, but you gave it to him because you was his friend. Which one is it, Marceau? You lied so bad, and the only person falling for those lies
It's
is
Tisha.
Tish. Yes. So and next week we'll have the continuation of that blog at the top of the episode. Um,
This is typical. This happens every time they meet up.
Maybe because I'm on a love and marriage overload. I'm on season 7 right now. I'm almost through with it. I am over it.
He's
The
a
blatant line,
misogynistic.
the blatant line, the blatant gaslighting, the blatant everything is just so insulting and so infuriating to watch. Like you gave a comment, it is what it is. Why are people just if everybody say that Mel is this and Mel is that? Why can't you just say I gave a comment because he is my friend
Friend, right?
and it ain't changing. I hate that y'all going through it. And if you don't want to be my friend because I'm friends with him and don't feel like I can be a friend independently of you with being friends with him, deal with it.
stand on business. And he didn't. But that's him and Maurice's MO. They dance, they do I like, I can't. And it's bros over morals. And I mean, again, in the beginning of the season, they do try to hold Misery accountable. But at the same time, you wrong. I don't know how much Marsau knew at this point what happened. Because it seems to me that it surprised everybody at what extent Misery went to, right? With the revenge plot, right? So I don't know how much he knows. But for you, y'all have daughters. Y'all have daughters. Imagine somebody did that to your daughter. That's not okay. So for you to say free Misery is dead ass wrong. Come on, like you gotta stand on business on this. You're never gonna beat the fact that you're a misogynist. You're never gonna beat that. Him and his brother are misogynists, and it's disgusting to watch. Maurice saying Kimmy should roll over and give him some ass, even though she's fighting cancer. You don't want your wife to get educated and work. Just stay home and take care of the kids. You're never going to beat it. You're a misogynist and just own it. Just stand on business. You're going to support men regardless of what they do. Because that's what it looked like, Marsau.
Child. That's the Love and Marriage Huntsville review. I'm over it. We'll be back next week. And,
Yeah, you really are tired. He said, I'm tired. This is overload. Marsau gaslights everybody. It ain't just Tisha that he gaslights.
you tried to gaslight me with this scene here, and I'm not going for it. I'm sick of it. Misery, miserable, and miserable. All three of them can go jump in the lake.
Lake
I'm sick of it.
Lanier?
No, I ain't say that now. Just go jump in the lake. I don't mean like jump in the lake and drown. I don't want them to die. Jeez Louise. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Love and Marriage Huntsville's review. I'm sorry that I just am kaput, but this is just ridiculous. It's just
It's a lot.
ridiculous. It's
It's a lot.
ridiculous. With that being said, we'll see you next time on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Next week's episode seems like it's gonna be a banger and a whip of an episode. We
Oh, I
can't
can't
wait to
wait.
get into it. Yeah, so we'll see you next week. Till then, well, we'll see you next week on Love and Marriage. Until then, like, subscribe, comment, turn on your notification bells when you see it, so you can go ahead and see the notifications as the shows are airing, and tune in for everything else that we have this week. We'll see you soon.